Well, folks, here we are. I hope that you enjoyed your time off, and we're back with the second half of our show. I had just a couple of brief little things here, and then I'll get into some more substantive stuff. Is the NBA becoming like the WWE? It's all a big joke.
I think so.
I do too.
Yeah, because it's mostly three-pointers. Everybody shoots three-pointers. If you can't shoot three, and that's the most boring part of the game.
It is.
I mean, if you saw the way the Celtics were in the, in the late 50s, 60s, 70s, it was a team. They passed, they did this, they did that. That was very interesting. I loved basketball. Now it's a three-point game, and it's boring. Even my wife says, how can you watch that for a whole game? I said, well, I just turn it on to see the score once in a while. I don't really sit down. I'm going to watch the whole game. Maybe a playoff game I might.
My brother and I used to go into, when I finally got my driver's license, Sunday afternoon doubleheaders.
Yeah, I used to go to
the
those.
1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I used to go to those.
Yep, those were great.
Yeah. You
Boy.
see the New York Knicks play the Lakers in the first game, and Celtics would play the Syracuse Nationals or the Rochester Royals.
Danny Biazone.
Yeah. Dolph Shays, remember Dolph Shays for Syracuse? And there was a funny story about Bob Cousy used to tell. They'd go up to Syracuse, right, and they'd play. And in those days, the seats were right on the floor. You could touch the players that were going by. He said this woman would be knitting, right, she was watching the game. And every time he came by, she'd take the needle out and give him a little, and he said that he hated to go up there and play because that woman would always jab him with a needle when she got close to him. That was a funny story, though.
Oh, God. Those guys have some great stories.
Yeah, and he scored 52 points in a playoff game, Bob, up there, I think it was, No, he was one of the greatest players.
Oh, he was.
I mean, these players are physically better. They can jump higher, shoot, farther, and do a lot of physical things that Cousy. But Cousy was fantastic. There was no other guard, I don't think, today that could do the things he did.
No.
That wasn't like 6'7", and 100 and 200 pounds.
The line passes.
Yeah, he used to do behind the, oh my God, it was a pleasure to watch him. It was unbelievable.
I loved him.
Yeah, and when I was at Babson, they practiced at Babson.
Yeah.
So in between classes, I'd go. It was a gym, like a high school gym in those days. It was nothing, Babson. So I'd go and sit down on the bleachers, and they'd be right on the floor. They'd be practicing. And then Cousy and Russell would come in like a half hour late, and our back would see him come in, and he'd point, you're late, he'd raise the hell out of him, But he did that because he wanted to make an example of the other guys, because they had business interests, and they didn't need to practice. But he'd always yell at them because he wanted to make a point that they're not special. You guys aren't, nobody's special on this team.
You go to a carnival or something, you see the sideshow, and some of it is the most absurd stuff. I always think of that when I saw Auerbach on the sidelines.
Oh, he was great. Yeah.
Taking the rolled up program and throwing it down and picking it. And, oh, God. Watching him was better than the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he was the best coach in history.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then they had Johnny Most, who was probably one of the best
announcers.
Yeah. And I brushed up against him when I was working for Raytheon. We used to go to lunch at a diner on Route 20 in Sudbury, right? I used to work for Raytheon in Sudbury. So we'd be done eating for lunch. We'd be going out. Who comes in? Johnny Most with the giant head and the big ears and a big smile. Hi, Johnny. How you doing? Hi, fellas. How you doing? Very cordial, very nice. He was a nice guy. Yeah. Great announcer.
And the cigarette. Constantly.
That had the best announcer, the best coach, and the best team. Team, not individual. Team of any sport that I can ever think of. And I was happy to be able to see it all.
Things that Auerbach did, the trades he made.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was obscene.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was like the rest of the general managers were
yeah.
dullards.
Yeah, like Larry Bird, he snuck him in there.
Kevin McHale.
Yeah, McHale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
picked him up for a loaf of
yeah,
bread.
yeah, and Double O there, Parish.
Yeah, and Frank Ramsey.
Yeah, yeah.
He got him.
Yeah.
And Togo Palazzi.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Yeah, he got Togo.
He got Togo, yeah.
Yeah, he was Togo. He didn't play that long.
Yeah.
He was all right. He wasn't a great
Yeah.
player, but Holy Cross guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was funny. So, this is a saying I remember. This is beautiful. God hates people who lie to Canadians.
Where did I hear that before?
Up in Canada.
No, maybe you said that to me.
I think
Did
I
you
may
tell
have.
me that one?
Yeah.
God hates people that love Canadians?
No, God hates people who lie to Canadians.
Oh, lie to, oh, yeah. Maybe, I don't know if I heard that on TV or you said it. Where did you hear it?
Up there.
Oh, up there. Oh, okay. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you said it at one show or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but
Yeah. Yeah.
dum-dum. Okay, so here's another thing that drives me crazy. Man hugs. What is with this?
Well, it's the new social game, among elitists, People who, I don't know, there's all kinds, but what can I say? There's all kinds.
I've never, ever really felt that I wanted to hug a guy.
No. Maybe a grandchild or something, but other than that. Yeah.
Yeah, but guys?
Yeah, no.
Hugging guys?
That's more French, I think.
Yeah.
That's more European.
Yeah, what a mess that is. I don't know. Oh, boy. All right. What percentage of the United States will admit to drinking alcohol?
Admit to drink. I know there's more than 50 that drink it, but I would say, I'll say 50, I'll say 25%.
That's all?
Well, I was going to say 50, but all right, I'll change it to 50. That was my first.
Yeah, I was going
I'll
to
say 50.
Yeah, because I think there's a big difference between people who will admit to drinking and people that actually do drink.
Yeah.
54%.
Yeah, I was going to say 50.
And that was taken last year.
Yeah.
And it's the lowest since they've been doing this poll.
Yeah.
So alcohol usage is down.
Yeah, I think, again, it's the younger people, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always just drank beer.
Yeah.
The hard stuff put me right on the floor. God, I couldn't take it. Wine. Something about wine, too. And an old guy told me, don't drink water the next day. And I remember that, but
Why?
one night I went out and did have quite a bit of wine. And I come back, the next morning I got up and had a big glass of cold water. I was drunk all over again. I swear.
I wonder what the logic behind that is.
I don't know. The alcohol content, the way it
Usually they
sticks with
say
it.
alcohol dries you out. It's a drying effect.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd want to drink more the next day,
Yeah.
but they always say, drink orange juice or milk or whatever.
I never found anything that really worked.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
What state is rated 50th, worst in other words, on affordability?
I'm going to say two, California and New York. And I would say it's got to be California.
It is California, yeah.
Because the gas prices, $7 a gallon for gas and going up, I guess they said next year because of state taxes. And,
Yeah. They just keep on going up.
The thing in California, the middle class can't survive in California.
Yeah.
You either got to be rich like the technology people or poor. If you're poor, you're going to get everything. And if you're rich, you don't need anything. And they can,
Now-
hide their taxes. But the middle class, I don't know how you can live in California on $100,000 a year.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can, even $200,000 a year.
My brother-in-law moved out there, mainly because his wife had a good job. And she had an offer, and she said, "We're moving to California." And he said, "But I like it here." She said, "We're going to California." Now, they were living in Illinois at the time.
Oh, they were? Wow.
Yeah. He got a job in Illinois.
Ooh.
And he was he worked for Chrysler Corporation. And do you remember the ad with the Dodge truck? You know, the rugged Dodge truck, and it would drop down.
Yeah.
Well, he took part in that ad. He worked on that. He said, first of all, there was no engine in it. He said, we took out anything.
Yeah, oh
that
yeah, if you're
would
going to
be-
ruin it.
Yeah. And we still broke it in half 21 times.
Wow.
And it broke between the cab and the bed of the truck.
Yeah. Wow.
So finally, we welded it up with more than the law allows, and got it to stay in one piece.
Wow.
But that's what he did.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
a mechanic in Chrysler's. Oh, let's build one of these and see what happens,
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
lab,
Yeah.
you know? And he liked working
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, but she got that big offer to California and
Yeah.
said, so they went out there. Now, bought a small house.
How long ago was this?
Pretty close to 30 years ago,
Oh, wow.
20, in the 20s, high 20s, and bought a small house.
Hmm.
1 bedroom, bath, living room, and a small kitchen. I forget what he paid for it, but it was scandalous. On just a lot that was about the size of this table.
Yeah. Whereabouts? What city was it?
It was one of the beaches.
Oh, yeah. Santa Monica or
No,
the other beach there.
it was in Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's probably that beach that all the
Oh, yeah.
crazy people go
Well,
up
not
and
so
down.
much the crazy ones, but it's the bikini capital of California.
Oh, wow.
And he was 4 streets
Down.
away
Oh,
from.
that's nice.
He used to spend his time down
Yeah,
there
sure,
looking
gonna
at the girls
walk
while
around,
she
yeah.
worked. But he paid, now, I believe, in the 20s for the house. So Susie was talking to him the other day, and I yelled at her. I said, ask Footsy what his house is worth these days. And he said, could get $1 million.
Oh, yeah, easy. Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's like Norfolk 50 years ago. You bought a house for $10,000, $2,000 even. Today it's worth $500,000, $600,000 or more even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
When I see these houses that I know were wrecks, and they threw a coat of paint on them and did a roof job and marked them up, when I see them going for $800,000-$900,000,
Oh, yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Did I ask you guys last week about Karen Reed?
I think you might have.
Was she guilty?
Oh, yeah, I think you.
Yeah.
I don't think there was enough evidence to prove she was guilty.
I don't think
I'm
there
pretty
was-
sure if I was on the jury, I would say there's no concrete evidence to accuse her of that.
This is,
Maybe drunkenness or some
that's right.
minor thing.
And that's what they convicted her of was drunken driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really don't think that even stood.
Yeah, nah, not if she didn't drive. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so here's an interesting thing. Tesla recalls Cybertrucks because the front lights are too bright. Now, when you drive at night, do these LED lamps on the cars?
I don't drive at night. My wife does because we go out together. I don't like to drive. She drives. And those lights, some of them are blinding.
Yeah.
There should be a limit on how much. They want those LED lights, calm them down a little or point them down towards the street instead of straight up. That's horrible. I hate those things.
Do you know, Canadians probably hate people that won't dim their high beams too.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Boy, and you get one of the LED
oh, yeah, those
high beams at you.
You can't see the road. Yeah.
Man alive.
Yeah, those are horrible.
So, interesting that Tesla has got to recall 63,000 trucks.
And the lights wouldn't work, or they were too bright?
Too bright.
Yeah.
Got to change them out.
God.
Of course, they don't have dealers.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what they do. Do they send servicemen around the country? And it takes them a year to change the lights out, or?
I don't know, unless, they contract with Ford or, the big companies and maybe have one guy that does it and then pay them, a hefty amount to do it.
That'd probably be a wise thing to do, yeah. So I cut this out because of all the things that the Massachusetts legislature has done to us, the estate tax, to me, is just about as close to being unfair as you can get. And it's funny because I saw this and they're actually talking that there's a couple of groups that are trying to repeal. There's only a dozen or so in the country that have this tax.
Well, they should put it on the ballot.
Yeah. Yeah, they're afraid it would pass. That's probably why they won't put it on.
Well, I mean, if they get enough votes, they could put it on.
But people say, well, you know what? Just get some more money out of them rich bums. But you're a perfect example of someone that would get hurt by that. Because you had that business. Now, supposing you said to your son, you're going to take over the business, you would have had to somehow or other, I don't know, take back 40% mortgage from him, and he'd have to pay that down in order. It's like the farmers.
Yeah, right.
Out in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I sell a third of my farm. And that kills me, for heaven's sakes. That's my income, Mr. Finn.
No, that's right.
It's like your income, the store, I mean, people never stop to think about that.
They shouldn't even have capital gains tax. Because, they already tax the money you put into it, and now they want to, reap the benefits of what you got out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same idea.
If I'm clever enough to increase my value of my funds 30%, why the hell should I be giving you half of it?
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Government.
No, I agree.
Boy, oh boy, especially, you're right, when we've already paid for it.
Yeah.
Jumping G. Hospital. I hope these guys are able to pull this off.
Well, they can get it on the ballot, I think, if they get enough votes. They should start right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they'd have a problem getting people. Everybody has a house that's gone up in value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know why anyone would vote against it.
Yeah.
But it's probably like they voted term limits years ago. what happened to that? They passed overwhelmingly, and they said to us, "You think we really want to put this in? Why would we do that?"
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's corrupt. They should have term limits on everybody. There's no
Absolutely.
reason you have to be in there 60 years or 50
How about
years.
the auditor
Yeah.
that put it on the ballot? She wanted the right to audit the legislature. It passed overwhelmingly. That hasn't seen the light of day, and it never will.
No.
I don't, unless she goes in there with a gun.
Yeah.
She's not going to get anything done.
No.
So, now, the Pew Research poll is the only one that I really think is on the up and up. So, they just polled, well, they did it in last month. They polled U.S. citizens. What is your concerns about going forward? I'm not sure I understand totally what these numbers mean, but I think like the top one is 62%, and I think that must be that it was mentioned on 62% of the ballots. But what do you think the people are concerned about?
Well, probably economy, because everybody eats and buys stuff and does things, and I think I would say the economy actually the economy and the border, but now that the border's sealed, I'd say it's the economy.
Yeah.
Immigration is up. It was up there. I would say that would be number one a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But since that's sort of neutralized, I'd say the economy.
Yeah, and you're right.
The prices of houses and the prices of
Inflation.
food. Inflation. Well, inflation is
That's what they
another
called
word.
it. Yeah. So there was 62%. The reason I'm running through this is I just don't believe a couple of these numbers. But number two, 60% of the people, their main concern, the inability of the Democrats and the Republicans to work together. Is that your number two concern?
No, it's a concern, but I wouldn't say it's number two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably down there. It'd be nice if they did, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Number three, I would think would be number two, but number three is affordability of health care.
Yeah, I'd say that's important.
You know,
Especially if you're not on Medicare and you're not on these other programs.
well, that's it.
Yeah, if you're not on a program.
You and
like-
I are on Medicare,
Yeah.
Medicaid,
Yeah.
and I've got an auxiliary Medigap,
Yeah.
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah,
And knock on wood, I mean, it's, I don't pay squat. But yet, my two boys, all right, work in a company, and there's about 10 people. They're bill collectors. And they had a low-cost insurance plan because they were young guys, a lot of them, or second income wives, and there wasn't just one guy was a sole income kind of guy. So he got a low cost, high deductible insurance policy for them. So they're healthy for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get $1,000 deductible, but it's only X amount of dollars. Instead, now, with the change, their rate went up to $8,000 or $10,000 a year.
that much?
That much.
Wow, God.
And they're both single.
Yeah, wow.
No dependents.
So they had to pay $8,000 more a year.
And they went to the boss and said, Bob, what the hell is this all about? And he pulled out all the paperwork and said, there it is, guys. That's the best I could find.
Mm. Well, you know what they should do? You know, the government, you know, they give stuff to illegal immigrants. They can go to a hospital, all that stuff. And what they should do is have a government program. You don't have to call it Medicare. You can call it GOV, government care. And you pay into that like a regular insurance. And the government, you know, would barter with the insurance companies and say, you know, we've got all these people, you got to give us a break with that, and the same with the medicine. Why should people in Europe pay $1 or $5 for a medicine? We have to pay $100. And they say, well, you know, we have to pay for the R&D. Well, why don't they pay for the R&D? Why are we paying for the R&D? They should be paying for it. You know, why? And they could do a lot of that and make it more economical, the whole medical industry, and make, you know, pay maybe, I don't know, $200 a month or $300, or even go up to $500 a month and be covered, and have the government, you know, get these insurance companies, drug companies, and the middlemen, maybe cut out the middlemen.
You know, either that or offer a 2-tier or a 3-tier.
Yeah.
Based on the deduction.
They do Social Security.
Sure.
Why not just extend
Absolutely.
it? Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I mean, you and I are going to get arrested for being sensible.
No, we might have to leave the country. Might have to join Rosie over in Ireland, which might not be bad.
Not bad.
If you didn't hang out with her.
Number 4, I think, is probably in the right spot, drug addiction.
Yeah, that's a big problem. There's
Now,
somehow the young people, not the ones that are on it and they can't be helped because they're beyond, but the ones, they should go into the school systems when they're junior high and tell them, if you do this, it's going to cost you a lot of money, and you're going to, later on in years, it's going to affect your health. And show them people that have lost their mind, and bring, just like they used to do with, what the heck was it, smoking. You know, go into the high schools and tell them, show them pictures, you know, movies of people. You know, I got a big cancer here because I smoke. I can't breathe. You know, scare the hell out of them, and tell them, you know, this isn't. The worst thing you're going to be doing in your life is this. You can drink alcohol a little bit and do other things, but this will end your life. Yep. And you got to start it early. Yeah. And you even started in the 6th grade.
Do you know what was a very effective one? Was the woman that came on and said, I started smoking when I was 16 years old. I smoked until I was 58 years old. And it has ruined my life.
Yep.
And I am talking to you, but I am dead.
Yeah.
I died 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well, I was at the store. A guy would come in. I know him. He'd come in a lot. You know, he'd come in, and then he'd be in the store. And he'd go, I said, what's the matter? I can't breathe very good because I got emphysema from smoking, you know. And then he'd go out, and then again, I used to deliver bird food to him. He was over on, I forget the name of the street. I used to deliver bird food to him and his wife because, you know, she didn't want to drive. She was getting older, and he was and I go into his house, and have a big, like 5-gallon, you know, vacuum type thing, and a hose, like a 30-foot hose attached to it, and he'd have that into his nose and be sitting on the couch watching TV, and he'd look fine, but he couldn't get rid of that hose. If he got rid of that hose, he wouldn't be, and that's what you've got to show him on drugs. You got to show him what this leads to. Yeah. I mean, it might be great the first 10 years, but later on, you know, you got to think ahead.
Absolutely. I have never smoked.
Neither have I.
No. Yeah. But you know what? I have a friend, well, I have a very good friend, the father, and Bill smoked. I don't know, he started as a kid, I know that, and died at the age of 63. Smoked, his last day he was smoking.
Yep.
And had 3 heart attacks. He was supposed to die after the second heart attack, by the way. He had 3 heart attacks, and Bill actually had his wife smuggle cigarettes into the hospital, and he'd smoke under the
Oh,
sheets.
God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an
So-
addiction. Yeah.
The doctor said, "This is it, Bill. You stop smoking or we're burying you." And he didn't.
Yeah. No.
No. The doctor told him, that's it. I'm wiping my hands off
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah. It's still.
Yeah.
Now they got the e-cigarettes. We went to a restaurant Friday, my wife and I, and a couple people were going into the restaurant. We were ready to leave back out. We're right at the doorway. A woman and a man, maybe in their 40s or 50s, and the woman had an e-cigarette. She took a big puff and blew it out before she went in because she knew she couldn't smoke inside.
Yeah.
So the e-cigarettes, were making this even
Sure.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so anyway, I can finish that story.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
I knew his son, worked with his son, and he smoked, just the same as his father, and drank. Heavy, heavy drinker. And I was talking to him one day, and I said, I said, not my business. So I guess, I don't know, but smoking and drinking the way you do. He said, yeah. He says, I'll be dead before I'm 50.
He didn't care. Yeah.
But he said, I cannot stop. Now, he said, people don't understand. But he said, I'm drunk and a cigarette addict.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He said, if I had to, I could stop drinking, but I could never stop smoking. He said, that nicotine has a hold on me.
Yeah.
He said, I stop for 2 hours. And that's it. But that addiction, we don't understand that.
No, you don't.
We don't.
No, you don't.
And if we could film Cass and Mass for like a half an hour of what goes on and show it in
Yeah.
schools.
No, that's what you have to start them young. Yeah.
But the teachers and the principals and the do-gooders would start screaming, you can't do that. You're brainwashing them.
Well, that's where the parents have to come in and go to the school board and say, this is what we want.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, well, you're going to vote you out.
Yeah.
It's up to the parents, really.
And you know what? The parents are too busy.
No, that's right.
They both have
Yep.
careers. And on Saturdays, I play golf.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, and I have my whatever she does.
Right.
And the kids,
On their own.
yeah,
Yeah.
they get up Saturday morning, I'll make you a peanut butter sandwich, make it last for the day or whatever. But
That's right.
it's the breakdown of the family.
Yeah, no, that's definitely.
And it goes back to the fact that the man used to work, and if it was 2 jobs, he worked 2 jobs. The woman stayed and took care of the kids. Now, what's more important? Working for some extra luxuries in life are taking care of the kids.
The only problem is that it's so expensive now that I don't know if one earner, unless he earns $1 million a year, can survive, you know, with a high mortgage. Some of these mortgages, $15,000, $20,000 a month, and then the food and the gas. You know, I hate to say it, but you know, it's not an easy thing. I can see why they have to do it. They shouldn't do it, but if it's survival, if you're going to be able to feed the kids and educate them, you know, it's not like it used to be, and it's too bad.
Yep, it is, and in our neck of the woods, there isn't a damn thing we can do about it.
No, there isn't. Nope.
I really think that maybe out in Iowa, we're living on a farm.
Yeah, that's different.
It's a totally different
Yeah.
thing, and maybe that's a better way of life.
Yeah, it is. I know. Yeah.
It's healthier.
Yeah.
Number 5, after inflation, the Democrats and the Republicans working together, affordability of health care and drug addiction. The 5th biggest worry, the federal budget deficit. Now, I haven't lost any sleep over that because there's not a damn thing I can do about it.
I know it. Yeah, but eventually, it's going to crash because no one's going to buy the bonds unless you give them 10% interest. And if China says, well, we're not going to buy your bonds anymore, you're in a lot of trouble. Same with Europe, same with a lot of... And that's the only thing. The dollar is safe. It's a good place to invest, and if you give them a good interest rate. But how can you give those interest rates and it's going to be in half of your budget, just the interest?
Yeah.
Interest in military someday is going to be all your budget.
Yeah.
That's it. Won't have anything for Social Security or Medicare or anything else. So they got to control it. And they got to control it by getting rid of the programs. You know, like right now, if you haven't showed up for work because of the shutdown and everything's going fine, maybe we don't need you.
Yeah, but you're still getting paid even though you're not showing up.
But maybe we don't need you permanently.
That's right.
That's that. You know, you gotta cut it.
You've got to.
And when I was at the store, I used to do a lot of business with the prison. Mm-hmm. And the guy used to come over in June, the middle of June, and he'd say, "Hey Ed, I got $3,000 I got to spend by the end of the month, and if I don't spend it, I'm going to lose it next year." So we'd go around the store and buy whatever he could. Now multiply that by the whole country. So you don't need all this money, but you got to spend it because you're going to lose it. Here's a better story. Why, if you don't spend it, we give you 10% of that money back to raises for all your people instead of spending? Why not try that? And see, you get more efficient. People will be more conscious of the spending because they know they're going to get something out of it.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, why don't we try that?
Ed, you're an idea factory here today.
I know, I should be running the country, but I'd probably get thrown out in about 2 months.
Well, here's number 6 for you. I don't know if, I think this is where it belongs, but illegal immigrants.
Oh yeah, no.
What Biden has done to this country is we're going to be dozens of years. Getting it straightened out.
Well, go to some of the countries in Europe. Like we were on a riverboat cruise in Europe, and the last stop was Switzerland, and we had to go, leave and go to the airport. So of course you got to show your passport when you're leaving. So, you give it to the Swiss guy, and he doesn't look up and look and stamp it. He looks at you, he looks up and down, looks at the passport. He spends 5 minutes sizing you up, even though you've got a valid passport. You can't get into Switzerland, and if you get in and you do something wrong, it's even the transit systems, you buy a ticket from a machine, right? And you take the ticket and you put it on you. And they may never come and collect it. But if they do come and they catch you, you get a hefty fine. So it's like on the honor system.
Sure.
You pay, but you don't have to show anything. But if some guy comes on the phone and says, we're checking tickets, and you don't have a ticket, they'll probably put you right in jail with a fine. But Switzerland, you don't screw around with Switzerland. Getting in, if you get in, you get out when you're supposed to. If you do anything wrong, you're going to pay for it. And that's why they're neutral, and that's why they never got involved with anything.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to mess with them.
No.
So after illegal immigrants, we have gun violence.
I don't think it's gun violence. I think it's the people that are using the guns that are violent. And it's because of many things that contribute. It's drugs, it's alcohol, it's the economy, it's people who are hopeless, they don't have friends.
Mental disease.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
They've got to open up some of these hospitals again. But it's not the guns, it's the...
Exactly right.
How about the one on the transit system in Atlanta? He had a knife, and he just cut the woman's throat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's killing her.
Yeah.
You're going to
Dead as
do
a
away
doornail.
You're going to do away with knives too.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting, Ed. Number 7 was gun violence, 49%. Number 8, violent crime, 48%. The two should have been combined.
Yeah.
Because it's violent crime that is the problem.
And you got to give these people, you give them one chance, you know. You commit a crime that's sort of violent, you say, all right, we'll put you away for a couple months, but that's it. If you come back again, we're throwing the book at you, and we don't care. Make the judges have to give them that sentence. You don't give any judge an opportunity to say, well, we're not going to charge you with this much because you're really a nice guy. If you did it, you got to pay the price, and that's it. When they stop doing that, you know.
If you get 3 to 5 for armed robbery,
Right.
all right, and if you really behave yourself, you can get out in 3.
Yeah.
But if you get out in 3 and you screw up,
Then you throw
it
the book at
starts
you.
all over again
Yeah.
at 3.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And that's added
To
onto the front of
The
your new one.
Yeah, that's the way it should
That's
be.
right. Number 9 should be higher. The state of moral values. I've seen people stealing things or going into a store and coming out with a couple of things. And I've said, did you steal that? And have them say to me, grow up. Stop acting like a weenie.
No. Well, you see them going into these stores in California, smash and grab,
Yeah.
Clean out jewelry stores. And, they get away with it, most of them. And if they get caught, they probably get a very light sentence or just told to come back and, show up for a hearing.
Yeah.
It's bad.
We don't have any room for you in the women's prison. So
got to build bigger and better jails. That's the only way to do it.
Instead of closing prisons, we should be building prisons.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, you give them one chance. All right, you made a mistake.
Yeah.
That's fine. Everybody makes a mistake.
Yep.
But if you do it again, this is what you're going to come up against.
The next one is a very important one. Quality of public K through 12 schools. I've had more people complain to me that, what the hell are they teaching the kids in school? The kids come home and ask me to help them, and hasn't your teacher explained this to you? Or, no.
Well, like I told you before, it's up to the parents. You vote the school board in. They're in charge of the schools and the teachers. You go to the school board and say, this is what we want taught to our kids.
Yeah.
And we don't want anything else that's not going to progress them.
Yep.
And if you don't do it, we're not going to vote for you again.
Yeah.
And then you vote them out and get people in there, parents themselves. I was at not the Verizon store, the other one, Comcast store up in Bellingham.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And I was sitting, we were doing something, and the guy was next door talking about to the person about his kids and complaining about the schools. And I said to him, you have to take more control of your kids' education. You've got to go to the school board, and you got to run for and get people to run. I says, you got to do that. They're not going to do that for you. Mm-hmm. It's up to you.
Yeah.
The whole country is up to the people. That's what it was made for, the
That's
people.
Right. Yeah. And then, if you want to speak at these various boards and all that, well, you have to register in advance, and you have to go on a list. And we may not get to you this meeting. This meeting is going to end at 10 p.m. Promptly. So if you want to sign up and wait, fine. And if you don't, well, come back next week. Come back early and sign up early and see if we can squeeze you in.
It's happening in our government. Go to a selectmen's meeting, and you have to pre-register with the girl, tell them what you want to talk about, and then you can go and just talk about those subjects.
Judge Carr and Walter Holmes and Ted Weibo must be rolling in their grave. I can remember as a kid going to the selectmen's meeting. My grandfather took me. Let's go up and see what they're talking about tonight. And I'm saying, now, Billy, you got anything you want to say? Oh, God.
Now, the government's getting closed now. It's very introverted.
Yep.
From the top to the bottom, very introverted.
Yeah. Now, the next one is climate change.
You don't hear much about that anymore.
No, you don't.
Because back in 2014, I remember when Al Gore was pushing it. It was it was before 2014. And they said, by 2014, if we don't get this under control, that's the end of it.
That's it.
So 2014 came, nothing happened. Well, now it's 2020. what happened? Now it's 2024. So they keep pushing the goalposts back. And then on TV, the weatherman would says, well, this was the coldest day we had in August since 1915, or this was the warmest day we had in August since 1950. So was there climate change in we broke the record from 1915. It was the hottest day. Does that mean there was global warming then, or global cooling? And I remember when I opened the store in 1975, right? It was in August. There was 1 week it was above 100 degrees. Every day it was above 100 degrees for a week or maybe 10 days, constantly. I remember in the store, I was getting things set up, and you go outside, and it was like a furnace. But we haven't had weather like that in a long time.
No.
I don't know, when was the last time we had a 100-degree day?
Well, it was this year.
Was it?
Yeah. We had 3 100-degree days.
Yeah.
But it was 101.
Yeah, and then the next day it went down to 95. So I think if you go back to the science, it's warming up, but it's going up a half a degree every 50 years or 100 years. So, what's wrong with that?
I believe we're having climate change. In fact,
it changes every day.
And I can tell you how I know it. Just as I cannot be wrong. When I was a little kid, my grandfather taught me how to catch muskrats. And that started a lifelong love of trapping. I look forward to November 1st every single year. And I can tell you that I don't know about the other months, but I know that November 1st went like this. And it was warmer. It warmed up. Now I know on November 1st when I was a kid, I was PO'd one day when it snowed. I had to go down and dig my traps out, and another time we had a freeze. I had to go chop my traps out. Now, that has never happened again.
Yeah, yeah.
So, in the first day of trapping season, I would wear a sweatshirt and a flannel shirt, my boots, and I'd go out there unless it was raining, and then I had a raincoat. Now, I see November 1st come,
It's not bad.
and I'm saying to myself, boy, I'm telling you, I like to get out there trapping.
yeah.
It's 58 out.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's warmer.
Yeah.
Definitely the last.
Yeah.
I'd say the last 5 to 10 years, it's been warmer and we haven't had a lot of snow. But I'll tell you two good things about global warming. It's healthier for you. You see these veins, you can barely see them now.
Yeah.
You go out in 100 degrees, those things would be puffed up.
Yeah.
They'd be puffed up. Why? Because your veins get looser in the warmer weather. Your body gets looser, right? And blood flows better. And in colder weather, you tend to tense up and your veins contract and your whole body and that's not, why do you think people go to Florida in the winter? They don't go for the cold weather, they go for the warm weather.
Yeah, oh sure.
And that's healthier. Put your hand under ice cold water in a hot water, which, well, that's not a good example, but if you put your hand into a cold water, it feels cold, right? Put it into just regular warm, it's not bad. And that's how your body reacts. You don't like cold. Even when you're in bed at night, you don't like cold. But, in the summer, it's great. The second thing, the growing season's longer. So farmers can get more food and feed more people.
Yep.
So that's two good things.
Yeah.
So that's two good things.
The growing season is
It's not all bad.
Yeah.
Two good things.
Yeah.
But as far as Norfolk having oceanfront property, that's not happening for 1,000 years. No matter what they tell you.
Not going to happen. Got about. He gave me the 10-minute
wow.
thing there about 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Oh, wow.
So we get number 12. I think should be higher. International terrorism. I really worry about another terrorist attack, another 9/11. I don't know why they haven't done it.
Well, I think because of the last time they've made, transportation harder to get in unless you're very well documented.
Yeah.
And they got more FBI people looking out, for these things on the internet. So they can spot these things a little quicker, and sometimes they stop them quicker. You might never hear about it,
Yeah.
but they
And
do.
that's a good thing.
And that's a good thing. But that is a problem, and we're just going to have to live with it and hope that, our defenses are up to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Now it's 5.
Oh, now it's 5. Oh, okay.
Fix that. So, international terrorism. Then the condition of our infrastructure, bridges, roads, all of that.
That's bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
But you go down south and the smoothest, because then they
don't
say,
have snow. Yeah,
that's right.
and
You don't
freezing,
have to plow.
Frost heaves and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Same with like Europe. You go to the warmer climates there,
Yep.
and it's all beautiful.
Domestic terrorism is the next one. as opposed to international terrorism. There's plenty of domestic terrorism going on. You know what? I don't even know what the hell that is. Can't read it. Unemployment is the last one. But racism. Racism. Overdone. We've beat that to death. But yet, if it were us, if we changed places with the blacks or the Jews, we'd feel it was a problem.
Well, it's always going to be a problem.
Yes, it is.
Because of the color.
Yep.
Now, we can't tell if you're a Jew or a German or Italian or what you are, but a black person, you can tell.
Yep.
So obviously, you're going to see a difference. But that doesn't mean that person can't advance. You got a black president for 2 terms. You got black senators, black congressmen. There's no reason, if they put their mind to it, people of color, of any color, Indian or whatever, can advance. It's just, you got to get out of that cycle where, it's racism. It's 150 years since racism was over? And most of the people in this country, grandparents came over.
Oh boy, more than that.
Yeah, in the 1890s. So it's overdone. They're wearing it out.
Yeah.
They're wearing it out. I mean, there is a problem. There's still people that aren't going to like them or like certain types of Indians or whatever. But you're always going to have that. Some people don't like Italians. Some people don't like Jews. Some people don't like Arabs. And you're always going to have that.
Yep.
Maybe in 50 years when us older people are gone, maybe the younger ones don't seem as like that. They seem more open to stuff. They don't have prejudices.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll correct itself over time. But it's overdone right now, and that's at the end of it.
And that is prophetic words from you. That's the end of it.
Yep.
Folks, we've come to the end of the show. All right, I know. Listen, calm down. We're coming back in a week or 2. All right? And with more great opinions.
Yeah.
I got more good stuff that I never, ever got to. See?
Oh, wow.
See it all down there, folks?
Got a year's worth there.
You got plenty of good viewing coming your way. So listen, thanks for tuning in. Have a great Halloween. Get set for winter. But just remember, a couple of weeks from today, we'll be back at it again.
Right, and start your Christmas shopping early.
Oh, boy. All right, on that note, see you later.